I wasn't sure how I was gonna like this rain/work boot from XtraTuf, so in this video we're gonna break it down and go over my thoughts after owning these for the last 3 months. This is my first XtraTuf product, and this is the Altitude. Let's get right into the first 30-second breakdown. So this is basically a love child between a rain boot and a hiking boot. So you have the waterproof and slide-on aspect of your rain boot, but then you have the tread and traction of a hiking boot on the bottom. Your first worry might be, aren't these going to slip off because they're a little bit heavy on the bottom and the fact that they're slip-on? No, they stayed on my foot really well, and whenever I was doing any walking or hiking in these, they never caused me any issues. Now, I will say, because it's a slip-on, you do have some of those slip-on issues, so if you're going for a long hike, sometimes your foot does tend to slide up front if you're going down a hill, and it smashes your toe against the edge of the boot, which can sometimes be uncomfortable, but that is pretty common in a slip-on boot, and it's just something that you need to be aware of when buying a slip-on opposed to an actual tie-on that's gonna be a little bit more durable and it's not gonna allow your foot to slide nearly as much. These are $165, so they're pretty expensive, and if you're going to spend that kind of money, you wanna make sure it's a boot that you're really going to like. So far, durability-wise, in the 3 months I've had them, they've been really good. I haven't had any issues. They're very waterproof. Traction-wise, whenever I'm down at the range or when I'm cutting wood or out doing hunting, I don't have any problems with these. Now, I will say that I don't wear these every single day. That if I'm going out to the wood burner or I need to go cut some wood or I gotta go down the range quick, I always slide these on just because they're incredibly easy to throw on. And if really anything out here in the woods or the property, they're gonna do just fine. If I wanna go down to the creek, I'm good because they're waterproof. If I wanna go down and hike down to the range, or if I wanna take the bike out or the four-wheeler out, I'm good to go because you've got that tread and the protection that the boot offers. Now, when I first got these boots, when I started the break-in process, I wasn't incredibly happy with them. I was a little bit worried actually, but they broke in nicely, and now they're usually a boot that I choose first when I'm going out to do something out on the property. It's just easy to throw on. They do pretty much everything I need, and if I'm near any water or mud, they handle that just fine, and I still have the traction because of the fact that the tread is pretty aggressive on the bottom. So this is usually the boot that I choose first if I'm going out to the property real quick. Now, this isn't a boot that I usually choose if I'm gonna be going out for a long period of time. If I'm gonna be out for 3-4 hours, walking a lot, or I'm gonna be out cutting wood, usually that's my Solomons I'll choose just because they're laced and they're a little bit tighter and a little more support. This has not have that support. You know, obviously it is a rubber boot, so it has flexibility. It's a little more comfortable, but where you get that comfort, you lose a little bit of support. So just something to be aware of when choosing a boot like this. I don't want people to think, okay, I need something with really good support for hiking. This probably isn't the best choice, but if you're looking for a boot that kind of is a jack of all trades, does everything that you need, has good traction, has good waterproof, and is really comfortable and easy to slide on, this might be the boot for you. Now, as for protection, these are flexible, so that's good for comfort, but I've dropped wood on my feet before, and it doesn't protect it in the sense of like a normal boot or a steel toe where you have that obviously added protection. This is just a piece of rubber up top, so you're gonna feel those a little more just as a heads up if you're cutting a lot of wood or you want something for heavy protection. This one might not be it. I have muck boots where when it's raining really bad, I can throw those on, but they're kind of annoying to throw on because they're just so tall and they're just kind of big and a little bit floppy when you're walking. This gives me a lot of those same benefits of the muck boots, just a lot lighter. So we went out hunting the other day for deer because we have the ability to get extra tags on our property because of the county that we live in and some things that's going on here. And so we got 10 extra tags for deer, and we went out to go hunting, and it rained a ton this week. And I wanted to throw on my muck boots, but I really didn't want the bulkiness of them for a long hike because Grandpa and I were going to a stand that was pretty far away. So I ended up throwing these ones on instead. And for me, I really like this boot better than the muck boot. Now, if you're going for like extreme dirty where you want pure protection, obviously you're gonna go with that muck boot, but this is kind of that nice in between. So if you want something a little more comfortable, something you wear a longer period of time, something that's a little bit easier to slip on and off, I like having this as an option. Now, if I'm going for my main boot, if I'm doing more hiking and stuff, I always go with my Solomons, but I think this is a really good in-between boot for those of you that want to go out on the property, or if you have like a boat that you want to go out on. I think this would be an incredible fishing boot just because they have that waterproof aspect and they're really easy to slide on and off. It's my favorite thing about this boot and probably why I choose them the majority of the time when I go out to the landing and I go to pick a boot to put on. It's usually going to be these if it's something pretty simple or quick and easy that I'm going to go out and do. Now, one of the biggest questions about a boot is going to be the durability. Unfortunately, in 3 months, I'm not able to do any long-term durability testing. I will update you guys if anything changes on this, but in the 3 months I haven't had any problems with durability. Now, that's me doing normal use. You'll see a lot of B-roll here of hiking or going out to the range or cutting wood, simple stuff like that. I'm not doing anything wild with these, but durability so far has been good. The tread on this I really like. So you have a lot of tread on the bottom. This one is more of their trail style boot as opposed to some of their other boots. They have some that have less tread that are more like a tennis shoe, and those ones might be a little bit better for like a deck shoe where you're not going out to the woods nearly as much. But for me and what I use, I think this is perfect. If you're somebody that has like a homestead, or you have a property that gets muddy and you go out to get the chickens, or you're going on the four-wheeler, or you're going camping or down to the creek, I think these kind of cover all your bases with this kind of boot because it gives you that waterproof aspect, gives you a little bit of height, obviously not a ton, so you got to be careful how deep you go into the creek, but it seems to be a really good jack of all trade boots for out in the woods. Now, one con I will say is these are not incredibly good at wintertime. It is just a piece of rubber, so you don't really have a ton of insulation. There is some in there, but I would not say enough to be able to wear this as a dedicated winter boot. I wear these out on the property if I'm doing something quick out in the winter, but if I know I'm gonna be outside for like an hour, 2 hours doing something a little more long-term, this is not the boot I'm gonna choose because my feet are going to freeze, and rubber boots just aren't great for that. So as long as you know that going into it and you're not looking for a all-purpose, all-weather boot, this probably isn't it. Spring, summer, fall, fantastic boot, or going out in the winter real quickly to check the wood burn, to throw more wood in, or going down to the range for a half hour, 45 minutes. This does just fine. But any farther than that, you're gonna start feeling that in your feet, and you're probably not gonna wanna choose these. Now, another thing that's cool about XtraTuf is there are a ton of different options, colors, and different styles on their website. So if you're like, I don't really need the tread, I'm not doing a ton of like in the wood stuff, this might not be the one for you. Go to their website, you can pick up the ones with less tread that's a little bit more for like your deck shoes or your boat shoes. That one might make a little bit more sense for you, and they are more inexpensive. I think those ones are around $100, maybe a little bit more. These ones are a little bit more on the higher end. I think it's probably because they have a lot more traction. This is more of that outdoorsy boot, I would say. So the price does go down from there. So $165 is pretty expensive, but I hope this video was able to help you make a better purchase decision, decide if this is exactly the boot you want, or based off of something I said, this might be not the boot you want and you will go with something different. That's always my goal, help you spend your money in the best way possible. I don't ever want you to buy something and not have all the information, at least give you guys my opinion, and hopefully that helps you one way or the other. If you're looking to help out the channel, the things I do here, being active in the comments and sharing and liking and subscribing, all that stuff helps a ton. Watch some older videos that I have. I would love that. Check out Howitzer Clothing. They donate 5% proceeds to charity, and they donate over $2 million so far. And they've been making these performance hoodies, and these things are really cool. And they have a Tactical Visor shirt, which is cool. So it's my own shirt. I would love for you guys to pick one up and send me pictures of you guys wearing it. I love seeing everyone out there wearing those shirts. Check them out. Link in the description. You guys can join my locals, my Telegram, my Instagram, my Facebook, my YouTube, my X, Rumble. I've got a lot of other channels, a lot of content I post every single day. I would love to have you guys more involved. Appreciate you all. Thank you so much.